Hello, everybody, and welcome here to Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park for the fourth meeting this season between these two Mountain Division opponents. It is Swtichbacks FC visiting the lab to take on New Mexico United. Pre-game coming up. The 2021 New Mexico United season is presented by Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary. My name's Tyler Ortega, joined as always by Chris Hurst. Chris, it is blackout night here at the lab, and it is a tale of two different teams. Switchbacks coming in second in the Mountain Division, 11 points in their last 5 games. New Mexico, on the other hand, haven't won in nearly 2 months, sitting in 6th place. They're going to be looking to make up some ground tonight.
Yep, July 12 versus Charleston Battery. Last time New Mexico United tasted victory. Couldn't be two different teams right now, going on two different trajectories. Obviously, New Mexico United hoping to change that tonight.
Let's have a look at tonight's players to watch, brought to you by Lumen Optimal Wellness. Enjoy a healthier body and mind today. For the visitors, it is the league leader in goals scored, Chris. He was the 13th overall draft in the 2016 MLS Super Draft. It's Haji Berry.
Yeah, I mean, 20 goals. The entire New Mexico United team has only scored 24 goals, to put that in context. And what a supporting cast he has as well. There's pace around him. But Haji Berry, he 15 goals last season for North Carolina FC, 14 goals the season before for Ottawa Fury. He's a goal scorer, clinical in the box.
On the other side for New Mexico, it is Chris Wehan. He's making his 4th appearance in black and yellow here this season. The second leading scorer all time here for New Mexico. Chris going to be looking to make an impact here this evening.
Yeah, Chris Wehan obviously brought in to try and boost the offense for New Mexico United, which, you know, it's no secret it's been struggling, and he did that. And things like last week against Phoenix Rising, where he doesn't get credit for the assist, but that dummy for Sergio Rivas' goal, absolute beauty of a dummy, and, you know, deserves credit for that. So he has added a lot of offense just by stepping in the team.
It's going to be a lot of fun here this evening. We are going to step aside for just a moment. As a reminder, it is Blackout Night presented by PNM. We keep you out of the dark. Lineups and kickoff when we return.
It's getting late, but your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, how's beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone, even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
In the 2019 Reader's Choice Awards from the Albuquerque Journal, Sandia Resort and Casino was voted Albuquerque's favorite casino. Best customer service, best entertainment venue, best slot machines and poker room, best variety of table games, best rewards program, and best golf course. Best buffet, favorite nightclub, favorite casino. Albuquerque, you deserve the best. Sandia Resort and Casino, close to home, far from ordinary.
I'm not a passenger. I'm a pilot.
In training.
Yeah, in training. My dad taught me to fly. To fire the burner, read the wind, and plot a course over our home, the land of enchantment. Are we still in New Mexico?
If sweat is a way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
B-Dubs' new crispy hand-breaded classic chicken sandwich plus fries for $5.99 is made live in a real-life sports bar with live, non-virtual friends. This is real life. So real it's $5.99 for a limited time. Buffalo Wild Wings.
It is a beautiful evening here at the lab as New Mexico United take the field as we have a look at tonight's starting 11s presented by Michelob Ultra. Starting first here with the black and yellow. Up top, Chris, it is Devin Sandoval. He's got Weehan, Rivas on either side. Interesting change in the midfield here today. We see Mike Azira and Chelo Martinez getting the start.
Yeah, the experience of Azira will be sitting in front of the back three there, I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see Rivas alongside him and Martinez pushed a little higher.
As we look at the bench, we see Guzman, we see Daniel Bruce, and one Christian Nava, who has actually signed his first pro contract from the New Mexico United Academy. More on that as we get into the match. But looking here at the other side for Switchbacks, you see Michi Galina up top, Haji Berry, Thomas Among there underneath. You see Ronnie Argueta getting the start, and the 19-year-old Abe Rodriguez between the sticks.
Yeah, that team just screams offense. The attacking four for them, 33 goals between them. But again, put that in context, New Mexico United scored 24 as a team, so that's a very daunting task if you're the coaching staff and players of New Mexico United to look at that and work out how do we stop this team from scoring.
Each match between the teams so far this season, the previous three have ended 3-1 each time, and the fourth meeting this season between these two teams is underway. Again, it is blackout night here at the lab, presented by PNM. We keep you out of the dark. As we look around the lab, Chris, it's a solid showing here. This early September evening, we're expecting a little bit over 6,000 here this evening. We're expecting to see some fireworks on the field, Chris, but just to the east of us, we're treated to a beautiful lightning show that's going on. Fingers crossed that stays away.
I say, as long as it stays over there, we are absolutely fine. But also going back to your point, I wonder what the odds are on another 3-1 finish tonight.
Well, last time, if you recall, we were here at the lab. That was in July. It was 2 stoppage time goals from United. First career club goals for Mike Azira, Ilya Illich, both assisted by Chelo Martinez. His only 2 assists of the season. New Mexico, frankly, we're lucky to get out of that one with 3 points.
And there's probably no coincidence that Chelo finds himself back in the team tonight to face this team.
So we have a look here at the keys to the match presented by Garcia Automotive. For New Mexico, it is be calm, intense moments, connect on combinations, and most importantly, finish opportunities, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of talk, and it was interesting in the press conference where you sense a lot of frustration. The coaching staff and the players talk about meetings that they've had where they keep talking about it's good, except, or it's good, but, and there's these little moments, these moments that they're talking about, and those moments, can they be calm? Can they come out on top in the big moments in games? Because for the last month and a half, they've come on the wrong side of those big moments.
The ball played in, and it's cleared away. Here's Martinez, finds Sergio Rivas. He's already scored against Switchbacks this season. Cross played in the middle of the box, and New Mexico United take the lead. It is Chris Weehan volleying home in the 3rd minute, and blackout night off to a good start for the hosts.
Interesting seeing Josh Suggs popping up on the right-hand side. Troy Lesane loves to invert his outside backs, and left footer on the right, cuts back on his left foot. Chris Weehan is just in absolute acres of space. It's the Switchbacks, they talked about it this week in their press conference, how they started games slowly. The first 15 minutes of games, New Mexico United always seem to start games quickly, and here's another example of it. Colorado Switchbacks haven't come out the blocks. Great ball here into Suggs, great spot. Look how much space he's in there. Great pick out. First time volley by Weehan. We spoke about him in the game there, and he just pops up in the box. Always working out. Where's the ball going to drop? Great finish.
That was a great look there on that TLC replay. Chris Weehan scoring his 6th goal of the campaign, his 2nd in black and yellow. And all time that sees him with his 19th goal for the club. That leaves him 1 behind Devin Sandoval for the all-time lead in black and yellow. Now, Chris, this is not unfamiliar territory recently for United. We know the frustrations over the past 6-7 matches. It's been that they get the lead early and they're not able to hold on late.
I know there's going to be some people who are very, very upset with you bringing that up so early in the game there, Tyler. But no, I mean, obviously, yeah. Again, it's not been bad for New Mexico. When we had Devin Kerr in the booth with us, he said everything. It's not that New Mexico United have had an absolute disaster. They've been playing well. It's just big moments have gone against them. And big moment went to them early. Got their noses in front. but they have to try and go on and get the second. They can't sit back, and that's been the complaint. If you look at social media, all the fans, the armchair fans, the Facebook fans, right, where they know best, and they say about how they feel like the team sits back on 1-0 leads. You can't sit back when you scored in the first 2 minutes. Not possible.
This is going to be, looks like a free kick here for the black and yellow. You can see the Curse have shown up here in numbers tonight. As is customary with theme nights here at the Lab. A flag giveaway here this evening for Blackout Night. Again, PNM, the presenting partner of the match, and gave out 13,000 flags. Every single fan in attendance here this evening is getting one. Just a really cool gesture by the club.
Yeah, and it just adds to the atmosphere, right? So it's certainly doing that. The Curse are making full use of them right now and creating a great atmosphere. Not as big a crowd as what we maybe see on a Saturday, obviously a holiday weekend, but still lots of noise coming from the home faithful.
Well, you know, Chris, after that excruciating loss last Saturday at the hands of Phoenix Rising and former player Santi Moar, you know that the Curse, they traveled out in numbers out to Phoenix. You could hear them through the ESPN Plus broadcast. I was at the match. It was 90-plus minutes of nonstop cheering from the black and yellow faithful. And I think above all, Chris, they just want to see some success.
Yeah, and that's everyone, right, who watches their team. They just want success. Great tackle there by Caelan Ryden. That's something that maybe the team has missed the last few weeks, the pace to run stride for stride there and pick the moment when to knock that ball out of play.
That was Among getting down, trying to get the cross in over on the far side, and now cross coming up here for Switchbacks. That's going to be number 27, Anderson. Plays it into Galena. It's nicked out by Mike Azira. So another Bank of America corner kick here coming up. With over 4,600 locations, convenient banking is just around the corner. Same routine, plays it short. Galena now finds the overlapping run, curls it in. Caelan Ryden heads it out. Third time's the charm here for Switchbacks.
It's interesting, New Mexico United only sending one. Normally when it's a 2v1 in the corner, you would send two defenders just to try and, this is obviously something that the Switchbacks want to do, but they're allowing them to play the short corner. So, yeah, like you say, third one's the charm. Are they going to get one right?
Anderson back for Galena, crosses in. Sandoval is there. Galena again connects with Devin Sandoval, and it's going to be a throw-in now for the visitors. Great work defensively there by Weehan and David Najim. Beckford gives chase to that. That is the captain, Jimmy Ockford. Now looking for the run of Michi Galena. And back is out to Rivas, and a little bit heavy of a first touch there by the Albuquerque native. Able to corral that, and now a generous bounce for New Mexico. Here's Chelo Martinez. He's got Sandoval making the run. Spreads it for the goal scorer. It's Chris Weehan. Here's Suggs. Up for Martinez. And Switchbacks do well to deal with the pressure.
You see Switchbacks there, they don't panic in possession there. They're not just going to lump it forward. We talked a little bit before the game, before coming on air, that maybe it might be a bit of a transition game. Maybe New Mexico United, when they're having their best possession, might be when they're most vulnerable. Remains to be seen if that's the case, because they have had a lot of the ball, but you can see Colorado Switchbacks not afraid to knock the ball around and play through the lines here.
Argueta has that one picked away from him. Zero will find Tete. Making his 12th start, 12th appearance on the season for New Mexico. Really came into his own, and that was a bad giveaway here. And Ryden, luckily for New Mexico, in position to make the interception. Otherwise, Chris, we may be equal.
There's a couple there. David Najem, he gave the ball, he tried to let it run across his body about 3 minutes ago, and it got picked off on the right-hand side for the Switchbacks, and there just a really sloppy pass into the middle.
Weehan pokes it forward, and just a miscommunication there with Suggs. It looked like he continued to make the run. Here's Johnny Argueta, he's in his 6th season with Switchbacks. Only Jordan Burt has been with the club longer. Tete playing a dangerous game there. Switchbacks in possession. Here's the league-leading goal scorer, Haji Berry, connects with Mishi Galina. Galina tries to curl one in, looking for Among, and the header goes wide.
Wow, that is an absolute bullet dodged for New Mexico United. I'm sure they mentioned something in the scouting report about the speed of Colorado Switchbacks, but both David Najem and Rashid Tete both guilty of wanting a little too long on the ball here.
And here's tonight's injury report brought to you by Ben Sherman Law. Injured at work, Ben Sherman can help. Sam Hamilton, Salih Muhammad, and Harry Swartz listed for New Mexico. When we asked Troy about that, it sounds like Hamilton and Swartz, maybe a little bit more long-term injuries, but Salih Muhammad, who was just re-added to this roster from Oakland Roots just last week, Chris, we're hearing that he's just about a week away from rejoining the squad. I guess had a little bit of a groin tweak in training this week, but it's got to be exciting, to see these familiar faces coming back in here. Here's Haji Berry. Or excuse me, that's Galina. Tries to play the cross, and that is Austin Yearwood sliding in to make the challenge.
I don't know if you've noticed yet, Tyler, but it's no coincidence. Austin Yearwood, left footer, playing right centre-back. Rashid Tete, right footer, playing left centre-back, and that's not because of the inverted thing. I'm sure that Coach Lassane, that we're seeing right now, likes to do. It's the speed. All of the speed, or a lot of the speed, is on the left-hand side for the Switchbacks. Galina and Barry. Barry tends to drift to that left-hand side. So Austin Yearwood put on that side, really, because he has wheels.
And it looks like Haji Berry is slid in underneath Among, sort of in a 10 spot there, Chris. As this long ball played out for David Najem, a little too much on that one. It's Anderson throwing it in on loan from Colorado Rapids. Joined their academy in 2017.
I was at Sebi Anderson's professional debut against New York City FC. He had quite the first half, scored, and I think it was 25 minutes later was sent off as well. That's a huge lesson to learn very early in his career.
This long ball played forward, looking for the run of Thomas Among, and Yearwood will usher that out. It'll be a goal kick here for the Greek goalkeeper, Alex Tambakis. Comes in with 5 clean sheets on the season, tied 5th in the USL Championship, and that is Brendan Burke. Head coach of Switchbacks FC has his squad sitting 2nd in the division. They've had 32 points so far, picking up 11 of those in their last 5 games, beating Austin Bold at home on Saturday 4-1. Rivas tripped up, and that's going to be a foul called against Beckford. Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up here for New Mexico. Ryden getting his first start in quite some time, Chris. This is his first appearance since August 1st at Tacoma. He tweaked his back, of course. Excuse me, this is his first start, I should say, since the 1st of August. He did come on as a sub last weekend in Phoenix. But I'm sure, New Mexico fans are very pleased to see Kalen Ryden back in the 11.
I mean, and it's no secret how highly Coach Lassane thinks of him as well, describing him as not one of the best, but the best defender in his eyes. So to miss someone like that for that long, it's clearly going to have an effect. I think Justin Smith did absolutely awesome deputizing in there. He's probably a little unlucky to be missing out tonight, if I'm completely honest. But, like when you have someone like Kalen Ryden who's ready to step back into the lineup, he gets back in there.
Ryden making his 18th appearance on the season, his 17th start. As I said, was subbed on in the second half. 67th minute appearance versus Phoenix Rising in that 3-2 loss out in the desert. I'll tell you what, Chris, spending a few days out in Phoenix where it's over 100 degrees prior to 10 a.m. and it's 100 degrees at 9 p.m., it really makes you appreciate the beautiful weather that we have down here in New Mexico.
Yeah, we certainly can't complain. We complain every now and again about how hot it is up in the booth, but 75 degrees. We obviously had that storm that just rolled through. We're still seeing the remnants of it on the other side of the mountain, which is putting on quite the light show for us, but absolutely beautiful evening for some soccer tonight.
Edwards. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Here's Makangila. Plays it down for Galina. Suggs goes to ground, may have bit just a little bit early. And that ball poked away by Sergio Rivas. Suggs playing against his former club here in Switchbacks. I was able to ask him just yesterday, when you're facing a former club like this, does that add any extra fuel to your fire? And Suggs, as candid as could be, he is a native New Mexican, of course, having grown up in Las Cruces. He said, not really. This club here in New Mexico, this is my home. This is where I want to be. So obviously very grateful to the opportunities that the organization up in Colorado provided, but all in all, my heart is here. Strong words from the captain.
Yeah, but I mean, he wears his heart on his sleeve, right? So it's no surprise to hear him say that. And it was a long time ago, there's a certain point where those relationships, players move on. He maybe doesn't have a connection with the club as much because been so much turnover.
Here's Sandoval, goes with the left foot. And it looked like Rodriguez just got a hand to it. Devin Sandoval was looking for his 4th goal of the season.
It's out of nothing, right? Just a long ball forward. Great movement by Sandoval. Anderson's playing very high on this right-hand side, so there is a lot of space in that wide channel. And it just takes a shot. Great save by Rodriguez. To be fair, it'd be interesting if that was going in or not, but he couldn't take any chances there. So good hand to palm it around for a corner here.
It is another Bank of America corner kick here in the 17th minute. The captain, Josh Suggs, sets up to take. He has Chelo Martinez here on the near side with him. New Mexico like these rehearsed set pieces, especially from corners, Chris. Let's see what they've been able to draw up here with this one. Suggs plays the in-swinger, and it's headed away. Looked like Jimmy Ockford. And now Switchbacks can break. Barry tried to play the through ball for Galina, but finds the feet of Alex Tambakis.
You could see how quickly Austin Yearwood dropped off there, took any space away behind them as well, so they're forced to overhit the pass, carries through to Tambakis. But you can see New Mexico United definitely worried about the counter-attack and the speed of the Switchbacks.
It's the Ghanaian, Rashid Tete, finding his fellow High Point University teammate Austin Yearwood. That ball given away in the midfield. Here's Haji Berry. Plays it up for Beckford. Beckford marked by Najim. Najim stuffs the cross.
It's interesting how deep Haji Berry's going to get the ball. Definite system change for the Switchbacks today, playing more of a back four, 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, but Beckford playing more in the midfield with Anang, Beckford and Galina as the front three, more attacking, more higher players of that formation.
This is Tristan Hodge. Plays it back to Ockford. Back to Ockford. He's got 16 MLS appearances under his belt. And here's Haji Berry. Cuts it back. Surrounded by black and yellow. It's cleared away by Mike Azira.
Mike Azira wasn't exactly standing on ceremony there, was he? It was more, let's just get it out of there, let's regroup. New Mexico United, you can sense there's just a little bit of panic. Hadji Berry, when he gets the ball at his feet, it's not necessarily clean and flowing there. The ball was bobbling around a lot, but it's so awkward to play against.
Here's Hodge. He was in the team of the week last week, Tristan Hodge. Suggs able to poke that out. It's another throw in here for Switchbacks. Hodge will throw it in out of Trinidad and Tobago. Most recently played with Memphis 901. Makangila finds Hadji Berry. Called against Chelo Martinez there. And Chris, there's very few traditions like it in USL Championship, the magic minute here at the lap.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, I mean, there are a few more bare patches than what there normally is in the crowd here, but what a noise it is when they go, and the flags just add, like you said earlier, add to the atmosphere, and you know it gives a lift. It gives a lift to the team. It's interesting when other teams come into town, how much of a lift it gives to them as well to play in such a boisterous crowd.
Oxford again. Argueta looking up for Beckford and has that poked away by Tete, but Beckford able to use his speed to momentarily recover that ball.
Not sure the AR knew, but he kind of blocked Beckford's path to the ball there. You can see Beckford gave him a little look. I'm not sure if he was going to get there anyway, but great shielding by the AR right there.
Shane Beckford, he's on loan from Montego Bay United in Jamaica. Scored 3 goals there in 11 appearances in the 2018-2019 season. He's a USL veteran, though, over the past couple of seasons. He's made 22 appearances for RGV, scored 3 goals there, had an assist. And so far this season, he's found the back of the net 3 times as well. Just like you said, Chris, everywhere you look at this Switchbacks roster, position by position, there's goals.
Yeah, and that's it. It's the Barry, Beckford, Galena, Amang up top. That's 33 goals right there. That's more than most teams, than a lot of the teams in the entire USL. Well,
I mean, the numbers don't lie. Looking at 45 goals scored in 20 games, you're averaging over 2 goals per match. And for New Mexico, it's at about half of that production.
One worrying thing that less people are talking about is they've conceded 6 goals in the last 3, 7 now, including tonight. So before tonight, it was 6-3. So while they are very free-flowing going forwards, they haven't been able to keep things tight at the back either. So I'm sure that's something that New Mexico United talked about, where we saw it with the team selection, and they are trying to get at them a little bit.
Only 1 clean sheet on the season for Switchbacks. That came early this season. That was on May 14th at Sporting Kansas City 2. It was a 4-0 win. But since then, Chris, as you alluded to, leaky at the back.
But when you're scoring the amount of goals that they do, it's very cavalier. Like I'm thinking like Kevin Keegan back in the 90s for Newcastle. He's like, I don't care that we're going to concede 3, we'll score 4. It's very cavalier, but at some point, especially when you get into the business end of the season, playoffs, there's a lot of very savvy teams that obviously end up in the playoffs, and you have to find a way to keep things a little tighter at the back.
Amang plays it forward for Galena. Picked up by Ryden. Cross goes in. Tete heads home. It is an own goal for New Mexico, and that sees the visitors equalize here in the 24th minute.
That is an absolutely awful position for Rashid Tete to end up in. We talked about the pace and the attacking prowess that the Switchbacks have. They just put the ball in a great area. We call it the corridor of uncertainty. So it's between the defenders and the goalkeeper, and he has to deal with it because he doesn't know what's behind him. Beckford was coming in behind him. He has to deal with it. He's actually trying to head it out for a corner, and he very nearly gets that right. Unfortunately for him, it nestles in the back of the net.
So adjustments now to be made here in the 24th minute. You can see New Mexico players just having a word with each other, Ryden conversing there with Azira. Tete was there, Sandoval, Rivas. There's Troy Lesane on the sideline.
There's Galena again, we talked about before tonight. He was tied for the most in the USL with 8 assists. There's his 9th. I haven't checked on the Hartford box score to see if Barrera has notched another assist as well, so he might be standing alone tonight. But, you know, like New Mexico United, I'm sure the inquisition that's going on right now is not necessarily about the goal, it's about the few minutes that were leading up to that.
Cross going in, looking for Sandoval. It's headed away by Oxford.
Switchbacks were definitely having more of the ball, having more attacks, probing a little more. So it was what led up to that goal more than the goal itself, I think, that we're talking about.
Martinez crosses in. Najim tries to volley that, and it is scooped up by Rodriguez. Rodriguez making his 2nd consecutive start. Sean Melvin on the bench for Switchbacks. Hodge has his pocket pick there by Chelo Martinez, finds Devin Sandoval now. Here's Azira. Martinez. Now Suggs. Martinez gives that ball away in the midfield, and now Switchbacks in possession. It's Makangila. He gives that one away. Tete steps in to intercept. Rivas, tight pass up through to Josh Suggs, gets it right back. Here's David Najim. Rivas, Sandoval. Almost has his pocket picked and eventually does lose possession. Galena turns, tries to find the run of Among. It's momentarily deflected by Ryden. Yearwood goes to ground, and the foul is going to be called against Thomas Among.
It's good make-up speed by Austin Yearwood there, but I think if we see that back again, you could see that Among was just stronger. They were both trying to go shoulder to shoulder, and he just, as you've said in previous games, he's a unit, right? And Austin Yearwood went absolutely flying. So you can see, great speed there by Yearwood to get his body there. He just gets there, and they're both thinking about, he just stands on his foot. That's what it is. Steps across, just stands on his foot, and maybe that's what the referee's giving him for.
Among standing only 5'7", but as you said, Chris, he's built the Cameroonian. Played in the Norway top flight for 3 years. He scored 11 goals over 56 appearances. And was recently played in the 3rd tier in Spain for Gimnastic. Here's Beckford trying to work his way around Tete, and the Ghanaian stands strong.
It's a great touch by Chris Wehan there.
Rivas might have left that a little short. Najim runs up to meet it. Now Sandoval in the center circle, looking for the run of either Suggs or Wehan. Just a miscommunication there.
Hodge did a really good job there. He was holding the line. He knew he was the deepest guy, so he just stepped up a little bit, and that forced Wehan to check his run, so it just carried through to Rodriguez. Yearwood and Tete are going to have a long night. Every single time that Galena and Beckford get the ball, they're trying to run at them. Whether it's played in behind and run at them, or you saw last time Beckford touched the ball, he just tries to turn and spin and go at Tete. And he did really well to defend it, but it's going to be all night. You can see they just want to use their speed, get in behind. Can they get past them?
Haji Berry, the leading scorer in USL Championship. Offside is called against Deshane Beckford. Two of the East's best clash to kick off a fall to remember when the USL on ESPN continues. Perennial contenders Louisville City FC travel to Dillon Stadium to meet Hartford Athletic in a potential playoff preview, September 7th at 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. Here's our Fiesta Auto Group free kick as Kalen Ryden drops that one on a dime to Suggs. Tries to play a little give and go with Weehan. Not exactly how they drew it up, but able to win the throw in there. Ryden, the Norman, Oklahoma native, finds Weehan, looking for the brace, big save, and the ball still trickling around, and offside it looks like is the call. We have the flag up over on the far side.
He's just given a goal kick.
Or a goal kick,
yeah.
I think you're correct, Chris.
You see a great ball by Kalen Ryan, great spot there, lovely left foot. You see Weehan was just playing off the shoulder there, great first touch, great save by Rodriguez, and manages to knock it back onto Weehan, so it does go out for the goal kick there. So great goalkeeping by the young guy, made himself big, didn't go down too early, big save there.
Rodriguez has made 21 appearances for Switchbacks over the past couple of seasons. Made his Switchbacks debut actually on March 30th, 2019 against Phoenix Rising. Anderson has that one poked away, but Chelo Martinez is called for the foul.
See, there's been a little momentum swing since the Switchbacks goal. New Mexico United, much to the frustration of the fans, did go into their shell a little bit after going 1-0 up. Since the Switchbacks goal, though, New Mexico United having a bit more of the ball, looking for that space in behind. Switchbacks are holding a very, very high line, and that's dangerous against someone like Chris Weehan, who does have the pace, and he's got the savvy to try and play off people's shoulders to get in behind as well.
Yearwood flicks that forward, looking for Sandoval. Being held by Ockford, he's not going to get the call. Savvy play there from the veteran, Jimmy Ockford, the captain out of Yardley, Pennsylvania. Most recently played for Louisville City last year. Native from Pennsylvania, went to school at the University of Louisville. New Mexico United will be making the trip out to Lynn Family Stadium next month, which is going to be a historic matchup. This ball falls kindly to Weehan and just a heavy touch. Here's Rivas now, and the foul is called against Devin Sandoval atop of the 18.
Little game of cat and mouse here between the two head coaches. Galena's just moved onto this right-hand side for the Switchbacks, and Beckford's moved to the left. So Coach Lassane has matched that now, and Austin Yearwood is now in his more natural left centre-back position and has switched on this side. So definitely something that was drawn up before the game. Yearwood is, I don't want to say man-marking, but he's definitely never too far away from Galena. New Mexico United very aware of his pace.
Here's Hodge. Looking for Among with the long ball, but Tete there to cut that out. Zira just out of the reach of Devin Sandoval. Back to Abe Rodriguez, a native of Thornton, Colorado. Najum intercepts that one. Sandoval holds that up and finds Azira now. Suggs, the captain. Azira looking for Sandoval. Falls to Weehan. Now Najum. Here's Martinez.
That was flying. Martinez got every bit of that with his left foot there, and you saw by the reaction of Rodriguez, he was full extension, expecting that to be going in the nestling in the bottom corner there. Great defending, but again, some good interplay. Every time the ball's popped into Devin Sandoval, Chris Weehan's never more than 3, 4, 5 yards away, looking for little knockdowns, and can he make something happen in there?
Throwing here, Sandoval goes to ground. No foul called. Ball cleared away. Ryden wins the header as Among crashes into him. The foul is going to be called against Thomas Among. out of Douala, Cameroon. Here's Beckford, one-on-one with Tete. Beckford looking to use the speed to turn the corner. And Tete concedes the foul. Tete given a yellow card here in the 34th minute.
My initial reaction was that I thought the ball came off Beckford and went out for a goal kick, but that Rashid had mistimed his tackle. It was really, really tight though. You can see he was going strike for strike. I feel like he could have got a touch on the ball before he allowed Beckford, but once Beckford gets a chance to run at him, that's it. We talked about it earlier. That's all he wants to do. Just wants to turn and run, and Tete might have been better served if he got a little touch, got a little tighter before Beckford was even able to turn, because once he gets up to speed, as you can see, he's hard to stop.
Beckford down, holding his collarbone out of Montego Bay, Jamaica. He's been causing problems all night, Chris, on both flanks since they've made the switch.
Yeah, and that's what, Tete might have thought, oh, well, if he switches sides, then maybe he gets a little break from him. But you can see, he's not hiding what he's trying to do. Every chance he gets, he's trying to run in behind there. So there, I feel like Tete just hesitated a little bit. He could have got a touch on the ball, ended the play right there. Wouldn't have been a yellow card if there was a foul on the halfway line there. And you can see there, it doesn't get anywhere near the ball. Beckford does a great job of just leaning into him, keeping that little separation between him and the ball, so he feels like he has to go to ground, because he was about to turn the corner there.
And Beckford looks to be okay, getting some attention from the trainer. And it's not like Tete held on to him when he fell down or anything. Just unlucky there for Beckford. He looks like he's going to stay on the pitch. Which I thought he had to come off momentarily if the trainer came on. Regardless, it is a free kick here for Anderson. Crosses that one in. It goes over the head of everybody, and it's cleared out by Yearwood. Here's Galena, picked up by Tete. Retreat back to Makangila, and Beckford plays that forward. Ockford, the center back, up top. Back to Hodge. Now Barry. Haji Berry goes down in the midfield. He's fouled by Chelo Martinez. Berry trying to quickly restart, but our official says not so fast.
Really well done by Barry there in the midfield. He turned Chelo inside out a little bit, went back to do him again, and Chelo had a little nibble. And there's been a couple of free kicks he's given away, so we talked about a little bit pre-game about maybe it might be a little chippy from New Mexico United. They have to do that, but right now there's a little momentum building. You can just sense it from the switchbacks here. They're having a little period in the game. New Mexico United have to see this through, try and gain some possession back again.
Argueta plays that one back for Edwards. Gets it back to Argueta. Eventually dispossessed. Azira nearly had that one poked away. Dangerous stuff here. And Tambakis just has to clear that away.
It's the areas of the field that New Mexico United are trying to play. They need to play about 20, 25 yards further up the field, trying to connect passes across the 18-yard box, especially where that turf is, covering the baseball diamond there. It's not the best place to try and play soccer in there.
Back for Ockford. Play it across for Anderson, who does well to keep it in play, although turns it over. Najim is fouled by Galena. We have another Fiesta Auto Group free kick coming up. Can't watch the match? Turn on SiriusXM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and USL All Access with Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also hear live action from the USL, MLS Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app.
It's getting a little, there's not much flow to the game right now. Like we said, it might be getting a little chippy. It's both sides now. They're a little unlucky. I thought Devon Sandoval did a great job stepping in there, reading the pass and got a little foot on the ball. Got a bit of the man too. Referee calls it. A little frustration showing now from the New Mexico United players here. They can sense that maybe let this half get away from them a little bit here.
And going to ground was the 30-year-old out of Fountain Valley, California, Ronnie Argueta. He's got 8 goals, 6 assists in his professional career. As we said, his sixth season with Switchbacks FC. Rodriguez plays that one forward, looking for Beckford. Looks to be okay with that shoulder. Here's Among. Does very well to retain possession. Tries to play it forward for Galena. He stayed onside. Picked up by Azira. And Najim able to poke that away momentarily. Ball still loose, and Ryden will just send it away. It looks like Hursty, he might have thought that Rodriguez was off his line.
Sure. I don't think he had any idea. I think his thought process was get this ball out of here because it was bobbling around again in an awkward area where if Switchbacks had been able to pick it up, they were at the back four. You see, Galena, he's just hanging out wide. He's basically got chalk on his heels all the time because he's so wide. And Amang, Ryden just got so tight there. He's so strong. He was just able to roll out of it. Keelan Ryan be better served. Just get tight, but don't be so tight where you can just roll out of that in that situation because he's so strong. It's unreal.
Tete up for Weehan. Out to Suggs now. Sandoval lets that one get away. And it's back to Rodriguez. Clears it, but only as far as Sergio Rivas. There's the Charlotte, North Carolina native Austin Yearwood.
Special mention to Sergio Rivas in here. He's Mr. Utility right now for New Mexico United. Recent weeks he's played right forward in a 3-4-3. He's played right wing back in a 3-5-2. Now he's playing centre mid alongside Michael Azira, and he's doing a great job in there. He's been very disciplined. Him and Azira just mopping up things in midfield. Here he is again on the ball again, and he can break pressure like this on the ball, which is a great weapon to have from deep.
Beautiful through ball, finds Suggs, and Josh Suggs tucks it away. New Mexico United take the lead 2-1 here in the 42nd minute. It is the captain from Las Cruces, New Mexico.
Made one, scored one. That run from out wide on the right-hand side, coming in on his left foot. Just talking about Sergio Rivas. Great job driving into the space between the midfield and the defense for the Switchbacks. And you can just see he's running the whole time with his head up, just waiting, just begging Suggs to make that run, letting him know he can see him. Plays the ball. Perfectly weighted pass. Doesn't even have to break stride and just passes it into the top corner.
Absolutely brilliant through ball there from Sergio Rivas, and that is the 3rd goal of the season for Josh Suggs. His 2nd scored this year against his former club, Switchbacks FC, and New Mexico on top 2-1, Chris. Now, if this is any omen to go off of from the prior 3 games, all 3 previous contests have ended with a final score of 3-1. New Mexico winning 2, Switchbacks winning 1. I don't know, that may have been the deciding goal.
I'm really regretting not having a little flutter out in Vegas there. But yeah, no, it's. I mean, obviously, New Mexico United. You obviously hope that that's the way it's going. But I know they talked about it in the pre-game. The Switchbacks about how they feel like they owe New Mexico United one. They feel like the game on July 9th was not a 3-1 game, and it just got away from them in the dying minutes there. So they feel like that's not a good representation of how the series, I guess, has gone so far. So this one is far from over.
44th minute. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here live, whether you're watching on Estrella TV or ESPN Plus. Thanks for hanging out with us. Some Saturday night Mountain Division soccer between second place Switchbacks FC and sixth place New Mexico United. With the home side on top here, 2-1 late in the first half by way of a goal from the captain, Josh Suggs. He assisted Weehan's goal in the 3rd minute, scored his own in the 42nd. Switchbacks on the board by way of an own goal scored by Rashid Tete in the 23rd minute. That's consecutive matches United have played in, Chris, that have seen an own goal. They were on the fortunate side of one last Saturday as Phoenix Rising put one in the back of their own net. And here tonight on the unfortunate side is Rashid Tete headed past Alex Tambakis.
2 games in a row though, New Mexico United scoring 2 in a game. Obviously, if you're New Mexico United, you're hoping that that's not the job done tonight. You know, the old 3-1 scoreline. Last time they scored 2 goals before that though was all the way back, July 12th, Charleston Battery, the last time they actually won a game. So they'll be hoping that that is some kind of omen. But scored 2 last weekend against Phoenix Rising, and it wasn't enough. And the Colorado Switchbacks offense this season is a little bit better than Phoenix Rising. So defense has to be on their toes. They can't sit back. You feel like another goal is a must for New Mexico United.
Weehan able to pick this one away. Looking for Sandoval. It's cleared out by Anderson. So we are told that there is 1 minute of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee, Chris, is a matter of a piñon. Here's Anderson. Can Switchbacks find the equalizer? Here within about the next 30 seconds before the first 45 are done. Nishi Galina will throw in. Here's Hodge. Up for Among. Ryden climbs the ladder to win the header. And that is the end of the first half here at the Lab. Chris, New Mexico on top of Switchbacks FC. It is 2-1. Josh Suggs playing a big factor so far.
Yeah, scored one and made one. And you know, New Mexico United been in this position many times over the last month and a half, leading at halftime. They've all talked about how coming out after halftime is a huge must, being ready to play for today. So you know that that's going to be talked about at halftime here.
That is Suggs finding Chris Weehan for the opening goal. That was early in the match, just the 3rd minute. And here, an unfortunate header for Rashid Tete as he puts one past his own keeper. That saw the game go 1-1. And this, a gorgeous assist from Sergio Rivas, a training ground finish from the captain. That has us at the current scoreline, 2-1 New Mexico on top. We'll be
What are you doing?
Trying to make this thing work.
It works! Yeah, let's go!
For over 50 years, BIOS has been proudly serving New Mexico.
We love being a part of this community and the New Mexico United family, and helping everyone from homeowners to home builders create a space that's both beautiful and practical. Shopping local is about more than getting a great deal. It's about supporting your community, your neighbors, your friends. Visit Bios in Albuquerque and see how shopping local supports your New Mexico community.
We are live at the lab. It is Blackout Night presented by PNM. We keep you out of the dark. Halftime presented by Smith's. Fresh for everyone. New Mexico United on top, Chris, 2-1. What have you seen so far?
It's been a back and forth, changes in momentum as we went through. New Mexico United started the strongest. Switchbacks had the middle period, then New Mexico United finished the stronger.
So we have a look here at some news and notes from around the league. There's a head coaching change out in Austin as Ryan Thompson has been appointed Austin Bold head coach. He's the first Jamaican to be named head coach in USL Championship. On the other side for Tampa Bay Rowdies, Evan Loro leads the Golden Glove race with 10 clean sheets on the season, and RGV bringing in some reinforcements, signing Emilio Yacasa and Frank Lopez. That's big for Austin Bold as Marcelo Serrano transitions out into a front office role for the club, as we now look at the Mountain Division standings, as we see El Paso, a runaway train, Chris, at the top of the mountain, 42 points through 20 games played. Switchbacks, however, sitting in second with 32 points. San Antonio FC in third, RGV fourth, the aforementioned Austin Bold in fifth, and United in sixth. But still, Chris, there is that bunch in the middle as you look from San Antonio to New Mexico, just 5 points separating the teams.
Yeah, I feel like we've been saying the same thing for weeks and weeks now, right? It's the cluster in the middle. It's everyone fighting for those next three spots, really, and it is. One result makes a huge difference. San Antonio FC in action tonight as well, currently 1-1 with the Riverhounds. And yeah, it's a huge carrot dangling in front of New Mexico United. Get a win and they can leapfrog Austin Bull.
Scoreboard from around the league here. We see FC Tulsa victorious over Louisville City, 1-0. Tampa Bay Rowdies put 3 past Oakland Roots. They're victorious with a clean sheet. A 2-2 draw between Locomotive and Orange County, and Sporting KC 2 putting 3 past OKC Energy, victorious there 3-0. Upcoming schedule here for the Black and Yellow. They are back in Austin at the Circuit of the Americas, taking them on the 10th, followed by the match here, the next home game, Chris, in 2 weeks' time, as they host Real Monarchs for the first time this season at the lab. First time since 2019 that the Monarchs are making their way down to Albuquerque. Following that, they'll be back at San Antonio, looking to avenge that national TV loss at the hands of San Antonio FC. Then they'll be hosting Rio Grande Valley. And then, as I mentioned earlier in that first half, traveling out to Louisville.
University, my experience a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
Tees it up, what a strike, and what a goal! Hartford has a goal!
And Lou City double their money! And how sweet the sound at Lynn Family Stadium!
I did get an interesting text from someone in the Phoenix organization talking about how big and physical that game was, and maybe they didn't necessarily know it was going to be just like that. I think they got a good taste. By the way, in case you're wondering, Forrest Lasso is competing for the Summer Olympics in gymnastics. Just wanted you to know. What you
so
got next?
Lee Cohen, he was part of that routine.
Bring it to me.
Forrest Lasso, the defender of the year, leaping over the ad boards and pirouetting his way toward the dugout.
In New Mexico, we know true beauty, true adventure, true color, and true culture. Home to the artists, the warriors, and the multi-generational, multiracial, all-inclusive family that we call the United. This is New Mexico United, and New Mexico United is New Mexico True.
A classroom is more than just books and supplies. We believe it's the place to enrich lives. US Eagle has partnered with New Mexico United to create opportunities for kids that budgets don't always allow. The Enrich Ed Classroom program awards 10 grants to K-12 classrooms. If you're a teacher that wants bigger things for your classroom, or if you know someone who is, encourage them to apply online at enrich.education before September 13th.
Here at the lab, it is Blackout Night presented by PNM. We keep you out of the dark. New Mexico United looking for the third victory on the season over their Mountain Division rivals, Switchbacks FC. They're leading here at the break, Chris, 2-1. As we have a look here at the halftime stats presented by Duke City Cares, your medical family. Of course, the most important is that first one. It is goals. New Mexico 2, Switchbacks 1. New Mexico, however, Chris, doubling the offensive production in shots. No shots on target for Switchbacks.
Other than the one, but that went in the back net, unfortunately, off the head of Rashid Tete. Really interesting stat with the possession there. I would not have guessed that. Without looking at the graphic there, I would not have guessed that the possession was so far lopsided towards the Switchbacks there. I thought New Mexico United had a lot of the ball, and they obviously did a lot with it. You know, creating all those chances, they have been pretty efficient with the ball going forwards.
Yeah, a lot of possession, not really anything to show for it. They have found themselves in some very dangerous areas so far. Rashid Tete, awesome.
It's getting late, but your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, how's beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone, even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
The Labor Day Buy More, Save More event is going on now at American Home Furniture and Mattress. Save $100 off every $1,000 you spend. No limit. Choose from the largest selection of in-stock furniture and mattresses in the state. Plus, take advantage of 36-month financing right now. Also get a complimentary 2-night hotel stay at a Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, or Wyndham. We guarantee you'll pay less at American Home Furniture and Mattress.
We've all been waiting for the great unpause. But what if we took this moment to see our old lives as something new, bigger than routine, something better than back to normal? Because moving forward, what we used to call everyday life is what we'll celebrate every day. This will be the greatest comeback. Collect all 6 signature bottles, win all summer. Learn more at ultracomeback.com.
Get your associate's degree in 17 months with CNM Online. A fast degree, no hidden fees, books included, all at an affordable price. All of your courses can be completed online. Take the next step in your career. Get your degree from CNM Online.
Second half set to get underway here momentarily. Tyler Ortega, Chris Hurst here on the call. Whether you're watching on ESPN Plus or in the state of New Mexico on Estrella TV, we thank you for hanging out here for some Saturday night soccer, Chris. And it is 2-1 in favor of the home side. New Mexico looking to pick up their first win, Chris, in nearly 2 months. Well on their way to doing that so far.
How much must it like suck being in the dressing room right now? Because you know everyone's thinking the same thing right now. We've been here before. If you're in the New Mexico United dressing room, we've been here before. I'm really intrigued to see what energy and what the first 5-10 minutes look like here. Whether New Mexico United just go to try and break up the game, make it as scrappy as possible so there's no flow, so they just get beyond that first 10 minutes, which has cost them so dearly the last month and a half. Or whether they just continue doing what they're doing. It's going to be really interesting to see. You'll be able to tell what the team talk was like by Troy Lesesne based on the first couple of minutes here, I'm sure.
And on the other side, Chris, for Switchbacks, if you're Brendan Burke, you have the leading goal scorer in all of USL Championship, Haji Berry, 20 goals in 20 games. He's scored in his last 6 straight. Hasn't even had so much as a look at goal here tonight. How do you change that for him?
He's been playing really deep. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him move a little higher, maybe alongside Morang up top there. But if you are the Switchbacks, you've had a lot of joy in those wide channels, driving to the end line and getting crosses in. And that's got to be the key. They keep doing that, there's going to be fruits, there's going to be success there at some point, because they are good areas to get crosses into the box from.
Second half underway here as Kalen Ryden plays a long ball looking for Devin Sandoval. Ronnie Argueta sends that one out. It's going to be a throw in here for United. That is David Najum. He was the first mid-season signing in New Mexico United history when he was re-signed on July 28th of this year. He's making his 6th appearance on the season. 5th start. He's got 1 assist, and that was on Devin Sandoval's goal here in the last home game against Oakland Roots, and the penalty is called as Sandoval goes to ground. It looks like Makangila was in there, tripped up the forward, and Sandoval headed to the spot.
Yeah, we're going to have another look at it here. It was very awkward. Little flick by Sandoval there, and he just gets the wrong side of him. And yeah, he has a swing at it, doesn't get any contact on the ball. Sandoval, to his credit there, he felt the contact and made the referee make a decision.
So this is Devin Sandoval. He is the leading scorer in New Mexico United history. He has 20 goals in black and yellow. Scored the first goal in club history. Scored the first playoff goal in club history. The Albuquerque native. And it is the 19-year-old Abe Rodriguez between the sticks. Here's Sandoval. Right in front of the curse. Sandoval bangs it in. That is his 4th goal on the season, his 21st in black and yellow, and the curse is going crazy, Chris.
3-1, you say? Never have guessed it. Interesting, Abe Rodriguez did everything he possibly could to try and make Devin Sandoval second-guess himself. He's standing so close to his left-hand post, which is where Sandoval ended up putting it. Sandoval not deterred by that one little bit, but you see Rodriguez playing all the games, playing all the tricks in the book there. Great PK by Devin Sandoval, though. And you can see how much he means. Runs to celebrate with the curse immediately.
That New Mexico United goal was scored by Devin Sandoval. Goals are brought to you by T-Mobile. T-Mobile as Devin Sandoval covered. Three to 1, New Mexico on top here of Switchbacks. And Martinez goes to ground. He's fouled by Deshane Beckford.
If you are New Mexico United, that is the absolute perfect medicine for coming out at halftime. I'm sure there was some nerves, knowing what's happened recently, and to come out and score a goal so quickly. On the flip side of that, Switchbacks, all of the talk at halftime must have been about let's get at them, let's get at them, let's get at them. Fragile confidence, all that stuff. And to concede a goal, a sloppy, little bit of a naive tackle in there as well, just angling. They had numbers back. Was Sandoval really going anywhere there? There was cover right there as well. To give a goal away like that is really, really frustrating if you're in the Colorado Switchbacks.
And that man, Devin Sandoval, is at it again. He wins a Fiesta Auto Group free kick here, just on the edge of the 18. Chelo Martinez, Josh Suggs, standing over this one. This is an interesting angle here. If you're Martinez, you can definitely pick out that back corner or try to find the run of one of your teammates. And it is Martinez. And he hits it directly into Among. Azira tries to go for it from distance and sends it wide. Chris, you got to go all the way back to July 9th, the last time United played Switchbacks. That was here at the lab for to look when you see that New Mexico United scored more than 2 goals in a match.
Colorado Switchbacks are not going to like that stat at all. You know, like I know we've joked about it a couple of times already, the 3-1, but that was the last time that we scored, that New Mexico United scored 3 goals. Last time they scored 3 goals at home. It's no coincidence, you know. So it's going to be interesting now how New Mexico United play, or how Switchbacks play. As soon as the goal went in, all of the subs popped up for the Switchbacks. So I would not be surprised if in the next 5-10 minutes at the absolute most, if we roll on to the 60-minute mark and nothing has changed, there'll be some changes coming from the Switchbacks.
Well, I mentioned you got to look back to the last time these two teams played to see that United scored 3 goals. The time before that, the second meeting between these two teams, when United won 3-1 up at Widener Field on May 21st. And for what it's worth, to cap it off, United, they've only scored 3 goals in a game 3 times this season. Well, 4 now, including this one, but 3 of those times have been against Switchbacks, and the other was against Austin Bold here at the Lab.
There's a song about that in England that fans chant when they've had a little rough time and there's maybe one team that they have success against. I won't bring it up now, but yeah, that's what's popped into my head right now.
The supporters group's in full voice for New Mexico here as they enjoy a 2-goal lead in the 51st minute. Sandoval, Suggs, Weehan all on the score sheet. The usual suspects. The United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and their players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. Sandoval with the hold-up play there, goes to ground. Not going to get the foul called there as Argueta plays that one forward. He's looking for Among, and ball just bouncing around, finds the feet of Thomas Among. Barry in possession now. 6 straight games with a goal for Haji Berry.
Just look where he's picking up the ball there. He's on the halfway line. If you're New Mexico United, you're absolutely delighted that he is so deep. When he's in and around the 18-yard box, he is lethal. So picking up the ball and being involved on the halfway line is perfect if you're Coach Troy Lesane.
A brilliant tackle from Chelo Martinez starts the counterattack here for New Mexico. Here's Suggs, far side. He'll play it back to the veteran Mike Azira out of Uganda. He most recently retired from international play with the Uganda Cranes, their national team. Najim finds Weehan with the header. Here's Sandoval. And just hits that as David Najim was making the run past Ockford. Here's Barry looking for the through ball. Tete's there to cut that out. Rivas. Here's Martinez. 8th start of the season, his 20th appearance in black and yellow. He's got 2 assists this year. Both of those coming in stoppage time against Switchbacks here at the Lab on July 9th. Sandoval flicks that on. Gets it right back. Najim now. He's got Martinez in space. Martinez crosses it, looking for Suggs. Back to Martinez. Down the byline. Cross again. Weehan heads it. And it is just off target. Bees looking for the brace.
And you could see Sandoval was just lurking behind Weehan as well. And I'm not sure he either didn't know he was there or didn't care. It was one or the other. And I'm sure Sandoval had a word with him there because he could have just stepped onto it and headed it himself. And with Bees going backwards, it was easy for the ball to go over the 18-yard box there. But you can see New Mexico United, they've maybe learned from their lesson of the last couple of months here. They appear that they want more.
Here's Anderson. Gives that one away. Najim. It has been all New Mexico here, Chris, through the first 10 minutes of this second half. Rivas turns. Weehan loses possession, and bad giveaway there as Among wasn't even looking for the ball.
And that's what it starts with for New Mexico United, and opposite sides of it with Switchbacks. New Mexico United, ball retention and how they've used the ball. Switchbacks, how many times have they won the ball and then they've given it away within 1 or 2 passes? New Mexico United tend to connect those 2, 3, 4, 5 passes, build some territory going up the field. Whereas Switchbacks, every time they've won it, they've just given it away.
Here's Edwards. Most recently played for Wolfsburg 2 in the German 4th tier. Made 17 appearances there. Returned to the States this season as Colorado Rapids acquired his rights from DC United. Made his debut for Switchbacks. The season opener May 1st. It was a 3-0 win against San Antonio FC. So we've got a couple of substitutions here for Switchbacks. Entering the match, number 7, Jose Torres, and number 13, Steven Echevarria. They'll replace midfielders Rony Argueta and defenders Sebastian Anderson. So that is Torres out of Longview, Texas. Most recently played at Puebla on loan from Tigres. He spent most of his career in Liga MX, notching appearances for Pachuca, Tigres, and Puebla. Also has 26 caps for the U.S. men's national team. He started the World Cup group game in 2010 down in South Africa. Pedigree,
and you can see immediately it's a system change. They've gone 3 at the back. Hodge, Ockford, and Edwards are the 3 centre-backs. They've pushed Barry up top. They've basically gone 3-5-2, 2 up top there. So we've talked about how deep Barry has been. It's taken a change from the bench, and now he is up alongside Amang.
And Torres, he assisted Galina's 91st minute goal last game against Austin. That was the cherry on top of things as they were victorious over Bold 4-1. You know, to add to that pedigree of Jose Torres, he won the Gold Cup in 2013 with the U.S. men's national team. Martinez, that one falls to Najim. Najim hits a low one, and you can tell immediately regrets the effort.
It was his first touch. First touch let him down there. The ball came, he was almost surprised that it did make it all the way through to him there. But when it did, he just didn't quite get that touch out from under his feet. Then he had to take another touch to then be able to get the shot off, and by then he was under pressure.
You see a yellow card issued to Devin Sandoval. That yellow card is brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, staff, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Yearwood plays this back to Tambakis. Came into this one with 53 saves on the season on 74 shots faced. That's about 71.5% there, and his 53 saves good enough for 9th overall in USL Championship. He's been busy this year.
But not tonight, which is very surprising considering the attacking talent that's on show for Colorado Switchbacks.
And if I had to bet, looking at the front 4 here for Switchbacks, he's about to get a lot busier over this last half hour. And Tete mishandles that, having himself a night to forget so far through the first hour, Chris, as he concedes the corner seemingly out of nowhere.
It's another one where he had to deal with it. He wanted to stop the cross going in, but I think he was trying to turn on it, and it just bobbled funny and, went out for a corner there. But another one where maybe he just didn't quite get his feet set in time.
Galina crosses this one in. Tambakis has to poke that one over the bar, and it's another Bank of America corner kick coming up.
I think that was sneaking in there, so as soon as you said Tambakis has been quiet tonight, all of a sudden he had to be really smart there because, yeah, I think it was just creeping under the crossbar. He certainly couldn't take any chances, so just tips it over for a corner kick.
Torres to take this corner kick. He's accompanied by Haji Berry. Berry will now make his way back into the 18-yard box. Cross goes in, bouncing around, and Tambakis comes up with the save.
Wow.
Big save.
A man was wide open there and took a wild swing and just completely missed the ball. That was a much better chance than what it ended up being there. He was wide open there. No one had picked him up, and he probably had a little more time than he thought, which would have completely surprised him.
Yearwood whiffed on the clearance there. Luckily for him, Ryden was there to clean it up. But yeah, Among, you're talking about somebody that has an eye for goal, Chris. He scored in 2 out of the last 3 games for Switchbacks.
I do apologize. It was actually me that Tambakis had been quiet so far tonight. So that is completely on me.
Ball played over the top, and here is Among. He goes to ground, and the foul is going to be called just atop of the 18-yard box by our official, Joshua Encarnacion. Switchbacks looks like advocating for a penalty. That was very, very close. Let's see if we might be able to get another look at that one.
Very close to, yeah, definitely very close. I mean, look where they're standing right now. And very, very awkward. It was weird. The ball kind of bobbling around again. And then all of a sudden, he's come alive in here where he's just awkward. Gets his body, puts his body in between defenders and the ball, so they feel like they have to still try and go and win it. And you know, he's just so strong, so they end up getting bundled over. Look how close that is to a PK, though.
And they say football is a game of inches, Chris. A couple of more, and Haji Berry's taking that one from the spot. So United are setting up with their wall. Looks like a 5-man wall with Chris Wehan laying down behind them.
The draft excluder.
And it's Torres along with Galina standing over this one.
Switchbacks creating their own wall as well, just to block. You can see how hard Tambakis is having to work just to see the ball right now.
It's Galina, and a fantastic save by Alex Tambakis. And a yellow card has been issued, perhaps for simulation.
Certainly was.
And it was Hodge going into the book there.
Hodge, he felt Tambakis. Great save. As I said, he was completely unsighted and pulls off a great save there. You can see he just puts it round the wall. Good 2 hands to it. Gets up quickly, and Hodge, you can see, he gets there, senses the pressure coming, and goes down like a sack of spuds. And luckily, the referee spots it for what it is and rightly gives him a yellow card.
That yellow card is brought to you by Roadrunner Law Firm. When you've been fouled in a car crash, call your legal home team, Roadrunner Law Firm. So it looks like we are seeing a substitution here for the black and yellow. Entering the match out of Bogota, Colombia, it is number 8, Juan Pablo Guzman, as he replaces number 7, Chelo Martinez.
Great night's work from Chelo Martinez. He was a thorn in their side, in Colorado Switchbacks' side all night. Really, he gave away fouls when he needed to, chippy when he needed to, showed flashes of his quality as well with dead balls, with crossing the box and his passing ability. Really, really a decent night's work for him. He'll be pleased.
Najam looks to play one out towards the back post. Nobody there. No substitutions are brought to you by REDW CPAs and advisors. There's no substitution for integrity.
The 2 veterans in midfield now with Juan Pablo Guzman and Azira. Definitely a defensive move from New Mexico United. You imagine that both of those guys will just sit in front of the back 3 for New Mexico United, defend with those 5, let the other guys do the attacking.
With Hodge picking up that yellow for Switchbacks, this marks the 5th consecutive match that they have seen a yellow, that one of their defenders has at least picked up a yellow. Back on the 10th of August, it was Jimmy Ockford picking up 2 of them, being sent off against Memphis.
See Mr. Utility Sergio Rivas now left of the front 3. Wehan has moved onto the right-hand side for New Mexico United with Juan Pablo Guzman sitting in now with a 0. Rivas has been really good in midfield tonight as well, which is really impressive considering who he, Tenari's done a great job in there this season. Juan Pablo Guzman, Azira's done his job when he's been called on. Cello's been in there as well. Rivas gave something a little different tonight, I feel. Let's say it was disciplined defensively, but he also gave some drive from midfield, which we saw with the Suggs, the second goal.
And for New Mexico, for as fluent as they've been on offense here this evening, Chris, one person that we haven't even mentioned isn't even with the team tonight, their leading scorer, Armando Moreno. He's out on World Cup qualifying duty with the El Salvadorian national team. They just played to a draw with the U.S. men's national team down in El Salvador a few nights ago. But this offense is firing on all cylinders without their number 10.
I'm sure he's watching. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's cheering his guys on right now. And and what a feather in the cap it is for New Mexico United to have someone away involved in World Cup qualifiers at this time. And yes, it hurts the team. There's no denying that. It was mentioned in the press conference this week. Of course, losing someone of Moreno's quality, it does hurt the team. But it's that next man up mentality.
Right.
And I think tonight, Chelo Martinez, he came in and he took his chance.
That ball makes its way through. It looked like Najim, again, a little uncertain whether the ball was going to make its way to him. But still able to win the Bank of America corner kick. That is David Najim out of Clifton, New Jersey. Assisted Devin Sandoval in their last home game on the 18th of August against Oakland. Here's Rivas. Already got 1 assist here this evening. Can he make it 2? In-swinger from Rivas. It hits that over everybody. Mishi Galina has that one run away from him, and it's a throw in here for New Mexico. And you look at Barry, who scored in 6 straight. Galina, he scored in 4 out of their last 5, Chris. And Sandoval goes down again, this time just outside of the 18. Tristan Hodge has his hands full with New Mexico's number 9. And it's a yellow now for the captain, Jimmy Ockford.
Referee's had his work cut out tonight. He's had to be right on top of some of these fouls. Your little saying earlier on about the game of inches. Again, another one right on the edge of the 18-yard box. And fair play to the referee. He was right there, and right call. Another yellow card for the Switchbacks here, and a great opportunity for New Mexico United.
So Suggs will deliver this one for New Mexico. Leads the team in crosses, does Josh Suggs, with 59 coming into this game. Strikes this one and connects with Rivas at the back post. But Rivas just puts it wide.
I think that play was designed for Tete. Tete was lurking around the back post there, and it was not far away. The amount of pace that Suggs put on the ball, all it had to do was hit someone. It didn't matter if it hit them on the head, the chest, the backside. It didn't matter. It was going to go flying into the back of the net. Unfortunately, it missed Tete and hit Rivas, who was just too far beyond the back post.
Here's Hodge. Looking for the run of Haji Berry. Kalen Ryden judging that one perfectly.
There's Haji Berry just playing a little higher now, just playing off the shoulder. Kalen Ryden did a really good job. He had to win that there.
Here's Edwards. Plays it forward for Beckford. So we've got a couple more subs coming in here. 2 of them for Switchbacks. We're going to see number 17, Darren Yappy, and number 37, Yaya Toure, entering the contest, replacing number 9, Thomas Among, and number 16, Beverly Makangila. Ball bouncing around in the 18. It's cleared away. Guzman goes to ground. Gets back up. Looks to have taken just a slight knock. So Toure out of Conarchy, Guinea. Most recently played for New York Red Bulls 2. Had 3 goals, 3 assists in 2020 for Red Bulls 2. He's signed by Colorado Rapids and loaned out here to Switchbacks. Also represented for the U.S. men's national team at U17 at the UEFA Development Tournament in England. Here's Hodge. Here's Toure. Tries to work his way around Suggs and Yearwood, but the defending will see that out for a goal kick. For the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USLW League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to USLWleague.com to learn more. Rivas was looking for Guzman, got away from him there, but Tete able to play it forward. United now surrender possession to Switchbacks. The breeze starting to pick up here, Chris. It is a beautifully chilly night here in September after a rather hot day, high 80s here in Albuquerque.
It's playing havoc with your notes, isn't it, mate?
Yeah, just a little bit. Ball bouncing around. Here's Guzman. Finds Azira. Back to the Colombian. Given away there by Guzman. Here's Galena. Almost found Yappy there. Darren Yappy out of Green Valley Ranch, Colorado. On loan from the Colorado Rapids. Came through their academy, Chris, in 2016. Since then, he scored 63 goals for the Rapids Academy. Just a goal-scoring machine is Darren Yappy.
He's another athletic specimen, isn't he, as well? You know, like, Switchbacks just pretty much going for it, throwing more attack and talent onto the field, and more things for New Mexico United to be worried about in terms of things running at them, because yeah, there's some absolute athletes up the top end of the field still, and more of them for the Switchbacks. It just keeps on coming.
Well, it's incredible. I mean, if you look at some of these players that are out here right now, Yappy, who we were just talking about, only 16 years old, Chris. He became the youngest player in Rapids history when he signed his contract at 16 years, 104 days old. You have your keeper, who's 19, Abe Rodriguez, who's played a fantastic game so far this evening. You know, a bit unfortunate going up against Devin Sandoval from the penalty spot, and some real quality goals there from Suggs and Weehan. But again, just looking at a lot of the youth here, Yaya Toure is another one, only 17 years old. It was incredible as I was going through the Switchbacks roster and, updating game notes. I like to put the date of births of some of these players, and I'm looking, and there's a few that are 2004, 2002, and it's just incredible that these young kids are out here performing on such a big stage.
Welcome to my world. I've been having that sinking feeling for a few years now, coaching, where like, really, you were born when? But yeah, no, I mean it's great for the game. It's great, obviously New Mexico United has started down that path as well with the announcement of some of the Academy Pro contracts, or Christian Nava, who's sitting on the bench today. He's another youngster. So yeah, so it's great for the game to see so many young players. It's something that's been missing over the last 10 years within the game in the US. So it's great to see that starting to happen.
Devin Sandoval's night is done as he is replaced here in the 76th minute by the Serbian Ilija Ilic. Oh, and now we've seen a yellow card issued to Brendan Burke over on the Switchback sideline. Our official, Joshua Encarnacion, ran over, issued a quick yellow to Burke over on the sideline, and that yellow card presented by Roadrunner Law Firm. Burke goes into the book here, 76th minute.
Clearly said something, maybe said something to the fourth official, and the fourth official used his headset to let the center referee know what was going on. But yeah, I mean, the referee certainly got over there quickly, huh?
Our fourth official tonight is Christian Campo. Our ARs, Nicholas Baker and Chris Canales. I've got to say, there have been a few moments, Chris, where things have gotten a little chippy. Nothing too bad. The officiating crew tonight done a wonderful job.
Yeah, for sure. And like I say, he's been on top of it. There's been some close calls, really close calls, and center referee all the credit where it's due there, where he's been right on top of it, and he's kept the lid on some things. There was a couple of flashpoints as well, and he's kept the lid on it, but he's also let the game breathe as well.
Weehan has tons of space. Ilic and Rivas making the run, plays it across, looking for Rivas, and it goes across the face of goal. The Albuquerque native corrals it. Here's Sergio Rivas now. He's got plenty of options. That one headed away by Tristan Hodge, and Yearwood will play it out. It's a throw-in here for Switchbacks. Tristan Hodge most recently played for Memphis 901. Coming into this season, here's Rivas. One-times it. Big one-handed save by Abe Rodriguez.
Great save there by Rodriguez, because he didn't have any time really to react there. Rivas made his mind up that he was going to take it quickly and just kept his head over the ball, because it was a danger of it bobbling in that area of the field right there. Kept his head, his body over the ball, kept it down, and yeah, just hit it so quickly as well. So Rodriguez had to react quickly, got a great hand to it to tip it over the bar.
Bank of America corner kick coming up here for New Mexico. It's going to be the captain, Josh Suggs, to play this one in. Here's Suggs. Strikes it with the left. Looking back post. And Michael Azira nearly scored his second of the season in black and yellow.
I think that's another one where Azira was almost caught off guard a little bit. He was so wide open, and he had also, and you could see he was trying to head it down, which is what you're always taught to do. But he headed it so far down, he basically headed it at his feet, and it bounced up over the crossbar there. But again, you could see his eyes just light up. He's like, it's going to come to me, it's going to come to me, and then just got the timing slightly wrong at the back post there.
So we were anticipating over 6,000 here tonight, Chris. The official attendance number is in, and it is over 7,000 here this evening. 7,077 on hand here at the lab for Blackout Night, presented by PNM. We keep you out of the dark. Tambakis has to come out to grab that one. United sitting comfortably with a 3-1 lead here. Just over 10 minutes remaining of the 90. Cross goes in, and it's cleared well out by Rashid Tete.
I know you said sitting comfortably. I'm not sure how comfortable Coach Lassane or any of the technical staff are over there with, you know, how important this win could be.
That foul's going to be called against Torres. There in the midfield. I see what you're saying. I really do, Chris, but when it comes to switchbacks, we know the drill. 3-1, full-time score, regardless.
Yeah, I'm just, it's going to be an interesting evening on social media if anything happens in the next 10 minutes in terms of offense for the switchbacks. Let's put it that way.
And we see the New Mexico United radio crew from the local ESPN radio station in the booth next to us, Chris, with their fingers crossed here this evening. Adam Deal, Andy Hageman doing their thing. Definitely got to give a shout out to everybody over at ESPN Radio 101.7 The Team, winning the best sports station here in the Metro. And their play-by-play guy, Adam Deal, winning the best play-by-play announcer. Throw in here for Edwards. Guzman will play it back to Yearwood. Torres strikes that one with the left, looking for Haji Berry, but too much on that. Suggs watches it roll out for a goal kick.
Switchbacks just floundering a little bit here, just kind of run out of ideas. He just hoofs that ball forward, a bit of a hit and hope, no real rhyme or reason to it, anything like that. You know, they were getting a lot of joy in those wide channels outside the wide centre-backs for New Mexico United, and they've kind of gone away from that in the second half, and yeah, I feel like that was probably a bit of a mistake because they were getting a lot of success in those areas in the first half.
Here's Weehan on the far side, cuts it back. Guzman. They'll play it back for Tete. So, Chris, New Mexico looking for their first win in 54 days. As Suggs plays it in. Illich again. And there's the save by Rodriguez. As I was saying, United looking for their first win in 54 days, Chris. If they're able to take 3 points here tonight, they'll move up to 5th in the Mountain Division, passing Austin Bold. They'll be at 28 points, still below that playoff line. RGV with 30 points, although the Toros having played 22 games compared to United's 21.
And it just shows how things can change. Rio Grande Valley set off like a house on fire, right? And you know, right now there's 5 games at least where they haven't got a win, 3 losses in there, 2 ties. But San Antonio was struggling 4 weeks ago, and now, you know, last 4 games, 3 wins and a tie, and they've popped up all of a sudden. They're in 3rd place. It just shows if you can go on a little run in this mountain, the Wild West out here in the Mountain Division, good things will happen.
I mean, it's incredible. You look at RGV, you look at United, you look at Bold, all 3 of them winless through their last 5 matches. So it's really, you know, we were making the joke, nobody wants the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions here in this Mountain Division. Switchbacks, they've come out, they've shown they're for real. You know, regardless of what we're seeing tonight, United, for some reason, seem to have their number this season. If they're able to hold on, that'll be 3 wins out of 4. But Switchbacks sitting there with 32 points, San Antonio in 3rd with 31. As this Bank of America corner kick goes in, and it's dealt with momentarily by United, falls back to Beckford. Looking to connect with that one was Galena. It's going to be out for a goal kick. But again, Chris, New Mexico, they're able to tie this one up tonight, put a bow on it, 3 points in the bag. That sees them take on Austin out in Texas. They had a painful 1-1 draw last time out. Of course, they'd like to come away with 3 points there. Playoffs not out of the reach for teams 2 through 6 here in the Mountain.
100%, 100%. And it's interesting you're saying about, like, regardless of what we're seeing tonight, like Switchbacks, they did. The first half was a very even game. Could have gone either way. And that goal to make it 2-1 right before halftime, that changed the entire feel of the game. It changed the entire team talks, everything. It really did. Like, yes, New Mexico United have led at halftime, but scoring right before halftime was a huge shot in the arm. And you were talking about, how good Switchbacks. So Switchbacks sitting at second right now, and New Mexico United, you have to say they've got their number this year. And it's the same as El Paso. El Paso, yeah, they have the 1 win over New Mexico United earlier this season, but 3 ties. New Mexico United somehow, against a team that is just running away with the Mountain Division right now, they compete with them. So, again, we said at the start again, New Mexico United, it's not that it's been bad. It's always been, it's good, but, and then today they cast aside those buts. They just didn't have any of the mistakes or the lapses in concentration that have plagued them the last few weeks.
Well, and that's what we heard exactly from the captain, Josh Suggs, during the press conference. He said that. He's like, we're done with the almosts. We need to be a team that can put together a full 90-minute performance, and that's what they're looking to do here this evening. And for those keeping score at home, New Mexico this season have not lost when they've scored at least 3 goals.
There's a little warning there, Hadji Berry popping up in the 18-yard box. If the Switchbacks were to get a goal here in the next couple of minutes here, it would make for a very, very tense and nervy ending for anyone who is of the New Mexico United persuasion.
Here's Sergio Rivas, finds Weehan. Can United find a 4th? Over the head of Rivas, asking for a handball, not going to get it. It looks like we're going to be seeing your fellow countryman here, Chris, making a late appearance. Daniel Bruce has made his way over to the technical area. Tambakis has to come off his line, and that is a second goal for Switchbacks here in the 88th minute. Scoring that one was Yaya Toure.
Well, unfortunately we called this. We said if you were a New Mexico United fan, coach, player, if the Switchbacks were to get a goal in the next minute or two, and 90 seconds later, there's Yaya Toure popping up. Through ball from nothing. New Mexico United just go to sleep. It's one of those lapses in concentration. Just went to sleep there. What a finish. First time. Tambakis racing off his line, the composure, and he absolutely rifles that in the back of the net. Now it is going to be a very, very interesting final 2 minutes plus stoppage time here.
Well, and if you have a short memory, last time we were here against Switchbacks, it was United scoring twice in stoppage time to seal the 3-1 win. Are we in store for some more late heroics here from either side? Azira didn't get enough weight behind that one. Edwards. Here's Toure. Has Yappy making the run. On the near side, it's poked away.
You might want to mute your social media accounts if this goes south for New Mexico United after your comment of it has to be 3-1.
Here's Torres, picked up by Bruce. Back to Hodge. Scored last week against Austin. Too much on that one, looking for Galena.
You see New Mexico United, they're dropping deeper and deeper, and it's a dangerous game to play with just a 1-goal lead now. just basically sacrificing all the possession, giving up all the territory, and just trying to hold on and hoping that the fourth official's board doesn't say something like 5 or 6 minutes.
Ilic loses possession. Barry plays it forward. Galina surrounded by black and yellow shirts. Barry back for Galina, who goes to ground, no foul called. Tambakis will stick a boot through it. Ilic. And Ilic has that one poked away from behind by Torres. There are 5 minutes of New Mexico Piñon coffee stoppage time. Great coffee is a matter of opinion. And these 5 minutes here, Chris, can make or break this season for New Mexico. Yellow card issued to Guzman.
Sorry, you can sense it though. You can hear the groan from the crowd when it was announced 5 minutes there. It was audible. You could hear everyone can tell what the next 5 minutes. They already know what the next 5 minutes is going to be like. The kitchen sink is going to be coming at New Mexico United here.
4.5 minutes remain of the allotted 5. Here's Torres, the 33-year-old. Crosses that in, Ryden heads it away. Galina strikes that one, deflects, calls for handball, will not be awarded. And Najam clears that over towards the United bench. Rodriguez made the run all the way out there when Torres was already on the touchline waiting to throw one in. Ball headed back forward. Bruce now. The Englishman finds Wehan, who's stripped, comes back into possession. Heavy first touch. Torres goes to ground. Wehan is going to be called for the foul and issued a yellow card.
It's an interesting one there. I didn't really see a whole lot wrong with Wehan. I mean, he kind of maybe jumped into it a little bit, but his touch, he was fighting for the ball. His touch kind of got away from him a little bit. It was a 50-50. He had to go in for it. Not sure the yellow card. Again, the referee just trying to keep a lid on things.
Torres feeling the effects of that challenge. As you can see him limping around there in the center circle. Hodge to deliver off the free kick. Bruce gets a head on it, and it's going to be out for a corner. Oh, and a red card has been issued. It looks like Mishi Galina, as he's shoving Guzman. And Switchbacks will now be down to 10 men for the remainder of stoppage time.
I believe he threw a ball at one of the ball boys down there, the ball retrievers, and it looks like the kid is down on the floor as well. There he is, picking himself up.
You can see the ball manager in the pink shirt. Yeah, and immediately you could tell something happened. There was about 4 or 5 United players that started sprinting off to the corner. Unfortunately, from our vantage point, Chris, up here in the press box, couldn't exactly see what happened. We'll see if we're able to see what happened there, but it's a Bank of America corner kick, 94th minute. 5 stoppage time minutes given by our official. Corner delivered in, and the header, and it's cleared out.
Ilic off the line there, huge head. That was going in the back of the net.
So another Bank of America corner kick here. Corner goes in, and the header, and it is sent over the crossbar. It looked like Yappy rose to meet that one, just unable to direct that on frame. and a huge collective sigh of relief let out by 7,000 plus here at the lab. Chris.
Definitely backs to the wall stuff there for New Mexico United, and they dodged the bullet. First of all, Illich stayed alive, did really well, didn't just switch off when the ball didn't go to him, stayed in the moment and managed to just drop back, and luckily for New Mexico United, dropped back far enough to be able to clear that one off the line.
Swtichbacks will send it away. 30 seconds of the 5 stoppage time minutes remaining. New Mexico looking to see this out for their first win in 54 days. Ockford plays it forward. Tete heads it back. It falls. Haji Berry one-times it right to Swtichbacks.
Of all the people that ball could have dropped to, New Mexico United did not want that dropping to Haji Berry. And again, that sigh of relief again. The 5 minutes is up. New Mexico United fans are on their feet. They feel like that's it.
And that is the full-time whistle here at the lab. New Mexico victorious on blackout night over Swtichbacks. 3-2 is your final score. Chris, what did you see tonight?
Battling performance in the end from New Mexico United. It could have been a lot more comfortable than what they made it, but it was professional. They came out of the traps in the second half, which will be the most pleasing thing for the coaching staff in New Mexico United. The second half, they put the Switchbacks to the sword and took care of business right after halftime.
So let's go ahead and have a look at the highlights here from tonight. As New Mexico victorious, we'll start things off here with the play of the match. It was Chris Wehan opening up the scoring, Chris, in the 3rd minute. That is his 6th goal of the season, 2nd in black and yellow, and Suggs notching his 1st assist of the year.
Yeah, great through ball by Rivas, and cross with his weak foot by Suggs. Picks out Wehan perfectly and just smashes it in the bottom corner.
Chris Wehan with that 6th goal of the season. That is his 19th for the club. He is the 2nd all-time leading scorer for New Mexico. And we're going to be seeing the all-time leading scorer here in just a moment. But this here, the man of the match, Josh Suggs, the captain, finding the back of the net for the 3rd time this season. 2nd time he scored against Switchbacks. Chris also notching an assist here tonight.
That man, Sergio Rivas, puts it on a plate. Suggs just drifts in on his left foot and passes it into the top corner. Great first touch there, and just opens his body up, pops it in the top corner.
And Suggs, the Las Cruces native, the team captain, the USL's all-time leader in minutes played. We said earlier as he kisses the badge, this is where my heart is, and this, the save of the match, brought to you by Positive Energy Solar. That is Alex Swtichbacks saving the free kick there. Brilliant save from the keeper. He had his hands full tonight.
Yeah, great save, and you can see he's unsighted the double wall, the Switchbacks and New Mexico United both putting the wall up, and he does well to get back up on his feet and put the Switchbacks attacker there under pressure where he goes to ground and picks up a yellow card for the dive.
We're going to step aside. We'll be back with full-time stats. It is blackout night here at the lab.
But your crew is just getting started. Head to B-Dubs for 50% off this loaded lineup of tots, chips, and ultimate nachos. But wait, how's beer for just $3? There's officially something for everyone. Even that friend whose curfew is 10 p.m. Late night at Buffalo Wild Wings.
This one's for all the parents whose idea of a big night out is a 15-minute drive to a takeout window. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
If sweat is a way of cooling itself down, then condensation is a beer's natural way of saying, drink me. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
For generations, we've watched the seasons change. My great-grandfather helped build this railroad. There's something special about fall in New Mexico. The aspens, cottonwoods, and oaks. There's nothing else like it, really.
Back at the lab, it is a 3-2 win for New Mexico in front of over 7,000 people here, Chris. And It was goals from Weehan, Suggs, Devin Sandoval, the usual suspects powering the black and yellow to victory here above Switchbacks FC. So we have a look here at the full-time stats presented by Duke City Cares, your medical family. Chris, we see the shots evened out in the second half. Switchbacks were on the front foot for a lot of it. Unfortunately, just unable to find the back of the net 3 times.
It was the 10-15 minute period right after halftime that did the damage for the Switchbacks and for New Mexico United. And yeah, and you know, by the end it was they were Switchbacks were throwing everything except the kitchen sink at New Mexico United. It was backs to the wall, and New Mexico United, sigh of relief that they managed to hang on this time.
Well, and finally, the possession numbers catching up to New Mexico. It's a little strange to see a New Mexico team only having 40% of the ball here at the lab.
That certainly doesn't happen. We said at the start of the game, Switchbacks, while they love playing in those transition moments, they're not afraid to have the ball. And tonight they showed that where they did. They created a lot of chances with the ball, especially in those wide channels. They just weren't able to find a way through until it was too little too late.
So let's go ahead and have a look now at the full-time highlights from tonight's 3-2 victory for New Mexico. Again, Sergio Rivas picking up the hockey assist here, Chris. This is one of 2 passes that we see him connect with Josh Suggs there. Suggs finds Weehan for his second goal in black and yellow. Surprisingly, just the first assist for the captain this year.
Yeah, and you know, again, with his weaker foot, and picks him out perfectly, bottom corner. But yeah, Sergio Rivas playing in that deeper midfield role was huge for New Mexico United through the first 60 minutes before he was moved out wide. Did really well in that area.
And this here, a very unlucky moment as Rashid Tete concedes the own goal. Alex Tambakis, you can see once it goes in, just kind of sits there a little bit frustrated. What can you do with that one? But again, Sergio Rivas pulling the strings in the midfield, training ground finish from Josh Suggs, 3rd goal of the season.
Yeah, again, perfectly weighted, and right before that clip, you don't see that he was under pressure and drove into that space before picking out that pass. And again, another great finish by Josh Suggs.
Suggs, your team leader in crosses with 59 coming into them. He made his 18th start of the season. And there's Devin Sandoval firing home from this spot. That was his 4th goal on the season. He scored in consecutive home games as he scored against Oakland Roots last time out as well, celebrating with the curse. You always love to see that.
Yeah, and you can tell how much it means to the New Mexico United players to be able to celebrate in front of their home fans. That everyone's been suffering the last month, and again, huge sigh of relief and massive save by Tambakis there to deny the Switchbacks. If they'd scored then it could have been really, really, really tense. And this goal by Yaya Toure, what a finish that is with his left foot. Great through ball. Doesn't even take a touch, just smashes it in the back of the net.
And some nervy moments there towards the end, Chris, is we see it all too often. Teams just overloading the attack on United over the final 10 minutes or so. It happened again here tonight, although New Mexico able to see out for the 3 points. So that's going to do it for us here this evening. For everybody behind the scenes, for Chris Hurst on color commentary, my name is Tyler Ortega. Thank you for watching.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.